Lesson number 6, The Sultans of Delhi. Beginning from 8th century, there were repeated inventions from across the northwestern borders of India. These inventions only aimed at looting the wealth, acquiring the territories, and spreading the Islam or Islamic law. In this invention, we saw more than so many inventions like Arab, Turkish, and otherwise. So, in this Turkish invention, 3 centuries later, Muhammad Ghazni of Turkish origin invaded India. Muhammad was the Sultan of Ghazni, a small kingdom in Afghanistan. He invaded India 17 times, looting and destroying the prosperous of cities, wealth, and temples. The prominent among such temples were Sri Krishna Temple at Mathura in Uttar Pradesh and the rich and the scarred temple of Somanatha in Gujarat. So during the last quarter of the 12th century, Muhammad Ghori, who was ruling the kingdom in Afghanistan, invaded India or attacked the India and secured the provinces of the Sindh and Punjab. When he made the further advance into the India territories, Prithviraj Chauhan, the king of Delhi and the Ajmer, defeated him in a battle. So, however, Muhammad was spared from death penalty. The very next year, Muhammad came to India and fought with same Prithviraj and defeated the Prithviraj. So, in this time, Muhammad ordered him be killed. Delhi came under the control of the Muhammad Ghori. Before returning to Afghanistan, he transferred the conquered territories to his general by name Qutbuddin Aibak. Aibak started ruling the Sultan of Delhi. Aibak was slave of the Muhammad Ghori. So he started the slave dynasty. So Qutbuddin was the first Sultan of the Delhi. He had originally been slave and hence the dynasty founded like his. The slave, the Khilji, Tughlaq and Sayyid and Lodhi are the 5 dynasties of the Delhi Sultans. So he strengthened the Turkish rule in India by defeating his enemies. To mark his victory, he started the constructing Qutub Minar at the Mehrauli near Delhi. Later it was completed by the Sultan Iltutmish in 1193 and it is the tallest minar in the India after Khilji dynasty. After the slave dynasty, the Khilji dynasty came to the power. Alauddin Khilji was the strongest of all sultans of Delhi. His rule was based on military power and his policies like he introduced several reforms in administrative, military and economic fields. He regulated the price of goods commonly consumed and he banned liquor, gambling in Delhi. The guilty were severely punished. Alauddin to conquer the entire India in the first instance. He conquered the North India by his military strength. To South India he sent Malik Kafur, a slave who was close to him. With a huge army, Malik Kafur invaded the 4 major kingdoms of South India like Yadavas of Maharashtra, Kakatiyas of Andhra and the Hoysalas of Karnataka and Pandyas of Tamil Nadu. Malik Kafur, continuing his military march, proceeded up to the Rameshwaram. All along the route his army destroyed the several places of worship and looted wealth. Never before had such a huge quantity of wealth of South India flowed to the Delhi. Alauddin patronized the Amir Khusro. He was known as Parrot of India, the Persian poet. And Alauddin built a new fort in Delhi known as Siri. Alai Darwaza in Delhi, a grand structure, was in a contribution to the architecture. Alauddin's last days was tragic. So He was killed by his enemies. Within a short time, the Khilji rule ended with the Tughlaqs came to power. Next, the Tughlaq dynasty. Muhammad bin Tughlaq was the most notable sultan of the Tughlaq dynasty. He was imprudent and ill-tempered who took hasty decisions. He could be easily engaged in a war. He was a strange character. Juna Khan was his first name. So, administrative experiments like transfer of capital from Delhi to Devagiri in 1327 CE and issue of token coins. Exchange, he issued the copper coins in place of silver coins with the same face value. It is the second experiment in 1329. This experiment proved a great failure and weakened the financial condition of the state. The government could not meet the demand of the silver coins in exchange for token coins. They discontinued the Muhammad's rule. The people revolted. While he was putting down to the revolt in Sindh province, he died of a fever. So after the Tughlaq rule, the Sayyid and Lodi dynasties ruled from the Delhi for a short period. The last Lodi ruler, Ibrahim, was defeated in the Battle of Panipat by Babur, who laid the foundation for Mughal rule. Contribution of Delhi Sultans. Now administration. The administration functioned on Islamic lines or Islamic laws. The army formed the backbone of state. The sultans were supreme authorities. Balban the Sultan declared that he was a God's representative and hence accountable to God alone. The sultans, however, had to face frequent revolts of the local rulers. Second one, economy. The burden of land tax heavily fell on the farmer. Muhammad bin Tughlaq further increased the land revenue and got it collect merciless. Finally, the farmers revolted everywhere, and weaving was major occupation of the people. The cities provided employment to a large number of workers on account bricks building activities taking the place there. Next one, architecture and the literature. The main structure built by the sultans were famous Qutub Minar. It is a 71-meter tall. Alai Darwaza, an impressive entrance of a Kuwait ul Islam mosque and the fort of Siri. All these are in Delhi during the Sultan's period. The Urdu language involved. Amir Khusro and Amir Hassan were the great Persian poets of this period. Amir Khusro was a great musician and evolved musical instruments such as tabla, sitara and others. The poet Jaisi wrote the Padmavat in Urdu language. Ramananda, Kabir Dasa, Rai Jalsa and Mirabai belong to this period in Delhi Sultans.